Wheelchair racer Anita Fordjour is one of Ghana's foremost disabled athletes. A 2012 Paralympian, she's also been named Female Athlete of the Year by the Sports Writers Association of Ghana. The 32-year-old races in the T53 category and has competed in events ranging from the 100 to the 1500 metres. It was in the 1500 that Anita won bronze at the 2010 Commonwealth Games.
Growing up in my village wasn't easy for me or my mother. Most of her friends advised her to give up on me and continue with her life. But when she refused, they all shunned her. The children in the community used to make fun of me, but I was a very strong girl who didn't allow myself to be bullied. I stood up to them and even beat them up sometimes, and that forced them to respect me. It's only recently that they've started accepting me, and that's only because I'm involved with a sport people respect.
Having been diagnosed with polio at a young age, Anita's parents divorced and she was raised in tough conditions by her mother. Polio is a highly infectious disease which can cause irreversible paralysis, and it left Anita without the use of her legs.
I discovered my passion for sports at a very young age. But when my disability was detected, when I was 6 years old, I never thought to myself that I could become an athlete. I watched other athletes and cried inside wishing that I could do what they were doing. It wasn't until I got older that someone gave me this opportunity.
Anita dabbled in wheelchair basketball when she was 20, but soon found her true passion lay on the track with wheelchair racing. However, balancing her training routine and her home life has brought its own difficulties, with the constant financial pressure being a huge burden.
It's always been hard to fund my training. I have 2 kids, and I also care for my brother's child. The routine is that I borrow money from friends and family to support my training. Then when I go to these tournaments and return with a medal, I pay off all my debts and pay my children's school fees in advance. Also, because what I went through, I give a lot to other disabled people like myself who want to follow in my footsteps. The money is usually gone in no time, and then I have to resort to borrowing again. It's not a pleasant routine, but I'm thankful, regardless.
Anita was born in Ghana's capital, Accra, but now lives in the country's second biggest city, Kumasi. She trains at the Baba Yara Stadium with a group of disabled athletes, where the camaraderie helps to keep them all motivated.
We truly have a great team spirit in the group. We always support each other, and there is just so much love. I know that one of the reasons why I couldn't perform to my best capability in London is because they weren't there for me. I finished 7th in London in 2 events. When the group is together, we have strength, and that gives me confidence. The team spirit, when we are together at competitions, helps us to raise our game. They help me relax and also make me forget about the stresses of life. It always helps when you have your friends alongside you at competitions. I really love them.
There are a lot of athletes in our training group, but the unfortunate thing is we do not have a lot of equipment, especially racing wheelchairs. Under normal circumstances, each person is supposed to have one for him or herself, but in this case, that's not how it is. Some of them have to share, and that makes it very difficult to train, although they always try their best.
It's a constant uphill battle for Ghana's disabled athletes to be able to compete on an even playing field with many of their international rivals. While athletes in more developed countries benefit from modern technology and cutting-edge innovations, the athletes here have to do their best with outdated equipment.
I put this bike together by combining two bikes that were damaged. The back wheels are from Patrick Obeng's old bike, and the front one was my own. I decided to weld the fork myself, since it was an old wheelchair. When I was done, I moved on to the footrest. I made this footrest by myself. This is not what international disabled athletes use, but unfortunately I had no choice but to make this work for me. No one apart from me is able to use this bike, since I'm the only one who understands it. It requires a lot of energy and strength, but it is what has brought me this far.
Anita believes that these difficulties stem from a wider issue in Ghanaian society regarding attitudes towards disabled people.
There are many things that wheelchair racers need in Ghana. We need accommodation and money for food as well. I wake up to go training at 4 in the morning and train for 3 hours, and it's hard to become the best without financial support. Wheelchair racers are capable of doing anything. When it comes to general strength, I would say we were equal with our international competitors. But when it comes to the wheelchair technology and nutrition, they are certainly better off. If we had those things, we would definitely outshine them.
The reliance on external help is a necessity born out of a lack of funding at home and is a bone of contention for the whole group.
The issue of sport is always the big question for us. Here in Africa, and Ghana in particular, when you're disabled, you're more like an outcast. Several times we've approached the government, but we receive little help. It's really hard for us, so all we can do is support each other.
Away from the track, Anita's work doesn't stop as she has to look after her daughters, Lindy and Angela, as well as her niece, Letitia. Life may not be easy for the family here in Kumasi, but they all still manage to enjoy themselves. Despite the obstacles facing Anita, she still remains optimistic about future success at the next Paralympics in 2016.
Anita is someone who can get Ghana a gold medal. The only reason why it seems that the foreign competitors stand a better chance is because of their training and equipment. But they are not better than us. The Black Stars, the national Ghanaian football team, get a lot of support from the government, but haven't brought home a cup in ages. So we plead with the government to believe in us, so that we can make Ghana proud as well. We have naturally talented disabled athletes in Ghana. Now we just need the financial help.
My main ambition is for me to leave a legacy behind. I'm 32 years old now, so I'm in the later stages of my career. And when I retire, I want people to remember that Anita always strived to do her best and overcame the odds.
Subscribe now to our YouTube channel for the very best of Trans World Sports.